स्टार्टिंग में लेटर ही hello.
Evening, sir.
You should also take this. This is your mic. You can click here. हाँ ठीक है will do. So good evening everyone. CA Ganesh, Mohit. Well done Mohit, you are available in most the meetings with so sincerity, right? Akanksha Gupta is also there. So we are conducting this session for commerce candidates, how to prepare. So B. Sivachandran, he got 23rd rank. You all know about it. So he's having his own study experiences in GS, right? So he will be sharing his experience plus his approach that might help in crafting your approach also, right? अभी लगता है 2 मिनट बाकी है अभी 4 minutes यार और ये ना because candidates would be missing.
Most of them they'll be logging in exactly at 5.
Yes, exact
So
5 or
it's
5.
better we wait.
तैयारी कैसी चल रही है मोहित?
It is going good. अच्छी चालू है.
Right. Akanksha Gupta, how's your preparation?
Started yes.
Right. And CA Kanish Singh, when did you start your preparation, Kanish?
I started 1 year back.
Okay, 1 year back, no? Right. Now people have started joining it. बैठ जाओ बेटा. ठीक है. उस पे बैठ जाओ, वहां से बैठ के देख लो आराम से. कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. सो मोहित आप तो 26 में पेयर कर रहे हैं 25 में?
2026 फर्स्ट अटेम्प्ट.
ओके 2026 कॉमर्स हो गया अच्छी तरह से?
ऑलमोस्ट पेपर 2 बाकी है क्योंकि वो बीच में थोड़ा इश्यूज आ गए थे पर्सनल, तो वो
राइट. पेपर 2 ठीक है. पेपर 2 आप जो है वैसे रैंकर्स में पेपर 2 होगा इन द मंथ ऑफ अगस्त. 16 अगस्त से स्टार्ट होगा 15 अगस्त तक. अगर उसके सिंक में करते हैं तो यू कैन आस्क क्वेरीज बेटर वे. ठीक है.
ओके सर, मैं नोट
आप अपनी तैयारी को जो ना और अच्छी तरह से कर सकते हैं. अदरवाइज वी आर ऑलवेज रेडी टू टेक योर क्वेरीज डाउट्स और स्पॉट. ठीक है. रिया सिंह, यू आर आल्सो स्टूडेंट ऑफ रैंकर्स?
थैंक यू सर.
रिया, I think your ranker student Vaibhav Agrawal.
I think we can start just slowly introduce basic things.
Yes. Okay. So everyone, I welcome Sivachandran again. Right. He agreed to come and discuss the GS strategy. Right. So Shiva, please introduce about yourself again briefly, your approach, your suggestion, and I would like to say, tell what mistakes you did so that they don't repeat the same mistake, right? So it is up to you.
Good evening, everyone.
Little louder.
Good evening, everyone. So firstly, am I audible to everybody? Because this is the problem with my speech. I am generally soft-spoken. 30 minutes into the session, I get the feedback that you're not audible. So we'll find it out in the first 30 seconds. Am I audible to everybody? If possible, you can drop in a thumbs up.
Yes, audible. So maintain little bit high pitch, same pitch, it's
Yes.
fine. Okay.
Yes. Okay. So myself Sivachandran. I got All India rank 23 in the Civil Services 2024 attempt. So overall, this was my 5th attempt. I crossed different stages in different attempts. 2020 was my first attempt, wherein I didn't clear the prelims. 21 and 22 I cleared the prelims, but I couldn't get through in the mains. 23 I cleared the mains, but then the marks in mains and interview were not sufficient enough so that my name could be there in the list. So 24.
Keep pace slow.
Okay.
Speak louder, but pace, please
Slow.
keep slow.
Yes, yes.
Thank you.
Think we'll make the internet slower so that the voice starts buffering. So 2024 was my first successful attempt. So wherein I cleared all prelims, mains, and the interview. So I think in my all these attempts, so every different stage, I had different hits, misses, false positives, false negatives, so on. So though most of you would be more qualified, more knowledgeable with respect to strategies, tips, and tricks, I thought maybe I can share a few points, because more than self-learning, if we are able to learn from the mistakes of others, that will help us in saving time, lots of time. So time is in paucity here, and time is the greatest resource. So I'll try to share my mistakes, and I'll also put forward those improvisations that I made during the course of my 5-year journey, which helped me keep improving at different stages. To start with, we'll have a unilateral conversation wherein I'll put forward my ideas and thoughts. Close to 15, it will take 15 to 20 minutes, I believe. Once that is done, we can have a in detail query session, maybe running into half an hour or even 45 minutes. So wherein you can ask your specific doubts, I'll try answering the same. So now the entire examination, so it can be broken down into the prelims, mains, and the interview. Firstly, we'll starting with prelims. Unlike in the case of mains, wherein the knowledge that is needed is generic, in prelims, one is required to have specific knowledge. So because the questions that are being asked, you either make it or break it. You have to answer a particular question. You need to know all the basics, all the specifics in order to answer a question, especially in the current examination pattern types, wherein the model of questions are being changed. You are in a position wherein you can't even eliminate options. Earlier, if you are able to eliminate one or two options, you may be able to derive at an answer. But now you need to have a clarity with respect to all the options in order to be able to give the right answer in prelims. So the first skill set that you need in prelims is that extensive reading, but repeated reading. So firstly, you have to decide on the list of books. So we have, I think, 7 odd topics in the general studies paper: history, geography, environment, science and tech, current affairs, and economics. So 6 topics. So you need to have a detailed study of all these subjects. We need to have a fundamental understanding. So book list, you have to fix on it firstly. And once you fix on the book list, diligently follow them. There is no need that you have to shift to a different book list, because all the authors are equally qualified. They would have ensured that they try to put all the facts in that particular book. And from that point on, you have to keep revising repeatedly. So I will name the book list which I have followed, but not that they are the final list. You can always do your own research and see the structure of the books so that it suits your own temperament and nature. So for history, I followed Spectrum Modern India by Mr. Rajiv Ahir. The book covers the history of our country from the periods of 17th century until the current times, the current decade, 2010s, and so on. And for other parts of history like the ancient and medieval times, I fully relied on NCRTs, both old and the new NCRTs, because if we are to look at the ancient and the modern, ancient and the medieval history questions. Okay. Ancient and the modern, ancient and the medieval history questions. So we'll be able to see in a particular attempt, the questions would have been reflected from the old NCRTs. In the next attempt, questions would have been reflected from the new NCRTs. So the advantage with the NCRTs is that it is not a bulky book. So though you have to refer the old and the new NCRTs, it can be finished within a matter of 2 weeks. The entire syllabus, the old, new, ancient and medieval, you can finish the entire reading in 2 weeks time. So that will give you a vast knowledge, and even when you go to the mains level, you'll be able to have a larger picture, and you'll be able to give an analytical and a detailed answer. And secondly, coming on to geography, I used at the initial days I used a book called book which was authored by Mr. G.C. Leong. So Oxford Publishers was the who were the ones who did the publishing. And then the later parts of my preparation, there was this book published by PMFIAS. So their material is available online free of cost. But then I purchased their book so that I can refer to their content and a single point in its place. The advantage with that material is that they have very good visual representation of the concepts. So for example, the tornadoes, extratropical cyclones or the tropical cyclones, these are concepts which for a new learner may appear a little bit vague. So it may take some time for us to learn only by reading the text. So in such scenario, if we are able to have access to visual representations that has been consolidated from different places, it enhances our speed in understanding. So at that point, the PMFIAS material helped me. For those who feel that you may not need to buy the book, you can always access the content online. So they have a website, so wherein they have broken down the entire physical geography topics into multiple subcomponents, and that has been done in a rational manner to suit the UPSC syllabus. And for other aspects like the Indian geography and human geography, the NCRTs would suffice. And so I've given two materials for geography. Third one would be map rating, that less. So it is very important that we do in-depth reading of the atlas. The reason being that only if we are able to understand only if we have the spatial awareness, we'll be able to understand different concepts. So theoretically, we read in physical geography, but the same thing you can understand it practically only if you are to read the atlas, because only then you will be having the spatial awareness as to which city is located where, which village is located where, and what is the particular geography of a particular area. So this helps in developing your memory. Even taking a particular question paper perspective, if you had seen the 2024 prelims paper, you had several questions from the atlas. So it shows the rising prominence of map reading. Then coming to economics, those days I followed a book called Ramesing, but there are several other books in the market, like authored by Vivek Singh and Mr. Nitin Singhania in the recent times. Then we have science and tech. For science and tech, I solely relied on the newspapers. So I did a diligent reading of newspapers close to 1.5 hours, 2 hours every day. For science, it helped me not only with respect to science and tech, but all the other current aspects as well. It helped me create an index of important events which I used until the end of my preparation days. Then we had current affairs. For current affairs, I again had two materials. One was newspapers, as I mentioned earlier, and the second one is the compilation that is issued by the coaching institutes. So it is available again open source in the internet. I used to follow two layered approach for the current affairs. One was the daily current affairs, and the other one was the monthly current affairs. With a particular coaching institute, I used to follow the daily current affairs.
You can tell the names?
Yes, I'll do that, sir.
Yes.
You can follow any coaching institute, but I'll tell you which I followed. Not necessarily you have to do that, but anything will do. For daily current affairs, I used Drishti IAS daily compilation. So I used to go through there. They used to give 8 to 9 topics every day. They would have consolidated. Very sorry.
No problem.
Yes.
You can take also. I can.
Yes, sir. No, sir. I will just.
Okay.
Yes. So yes, they would have compiled it from different sources, from newspapers, the PIB, and multiple newspapers, because we generally read only one newspaper, either the Hindu or the Indian Express or Hindustan Times. But then they would have compiled the important topics from different newspapers and different sources. Once the daily reading is done, as soon as the month gets over, coaching institutes, they release a monthly compilation. So I used to follow the monthly compilation of Vision IAS. So what happens is that when I go through the monthly compilation, it serves two purposes. One is that it is like a revision of all the daily current affairs, which I read from Drishti over the course of 30 days. And nextly, when I read Vision current affairs, there may have been certain things which would have been ignored or which may not have been included in their material. So that I'll be covering it in the Vision IAS material. So this way revision is done and I cover almost all the current affairs topics. As far as coming to note making in current affairs from these daily compilations or monthly compilations is voluminous. Practically during the outset of my preparation I tried note making, but it wasn't possible. So I made it for 1.5 months, then I left it, understanding that it is close to impossible. So what I did was, in order to ensure that I had memory of these topics, I used to do regular revisions. For example, I used to read the daily current affairs first, then the monthly current affairs. Once 3 months are done, I once again used to revise the 3 months current affairs. For example, I started my preparation in 2019 September, October. So I read the current affairs of September to December 1st. I used to follow the daily current affairs and the monthly current affairs. Then in the month of January, I once again did the revision of last 4 months current affairs. So this way I completed 2 to 3 cycles of current affairs. Always it is never possible to have 100% perfection that we recollect everything, but even if you are able to do the recollection of 75 to 90 percentage of what we read, it is more than sufficient. So this you can do it by 2-3 revisions. Note making can be done, but then if you are unable to do it, never bother about it, never mind it. You can always compensate it with sufficient revisions. So that was my strategy. I did 2-3 revisions. Okay, so I think I have put forward the book list which I followed during my prelims preparation days. And the second thing was, which I mentioned at the outset is that once you decide on this book list, keep following it again and again. So I am very sure that all of you would clear in the first attempt, but God forbid, if you were to move into the second attempt, don't doubt your strategy or don't doubt your book list. Once again, revise the same book list. The reason being that once during my preparation days, I was able to state that a particular content is situated on the left side page of this book or right side page of the book. So when you keep reading the same material again and again, it helps you in recollecting, because in the examination environment, it is a high pressure environment. Recollecting a particular topic, it is very difficult when you are under pressure. So when you are doing repeated reading, that becomes an easy task for you. So there are 2 things which I mentioned right now. One is the book list, and the second one is repeated revisions, the importance of revisions. And third thing is mock test. So this is something which I didn't do during my first attempt. Though I had content, though I did hard work during the first attempt, I didn't clear the exams. I attempted only 72, 73 GS questions. I lost the cutoff by 4 marks. So the difference was just 2 questions. So probability wise, had I attempted another 15 questions for the level of preparation that we possessed at that point in time, so we could have comfortably cleared the cutoff. So I didn't know that we had to attempt more questions. So these things come only with experience, and experience comes only when you have that real-time scenario, when you have that real-time simulation during your preparation days. For that, mock test will help you a lot. And also, as you keep attending more mock tests, intuitively you will be able to answer a particular question. Though you are not academically aware of a particular topic, when you come across a question, you will be able to eliminate a few options, come and arrive at the right option. I am at loss to explain a particular question because I'm not in touch with the subject right now. But this I can assure you, as you attempt more mock tests, your ability to solve it and get the right answer, it is directly proportional. For example, my own case, I attempted 60 mock tests during my 2023 attempt, 2023 attempt. And in the first 2 prelims attempt where I cleared, I was able to clear with a margin of 4 marks from the cutoff, 4 to 6 marks. But in 23 attempt, when the number of mock tests increased, I was able to clear with a margin of 20 marks. And in the 2024 attempt, the same thing increased to 30 marks. So that is the
Please reduce speed.
Speed, okay.
Speed is very fast.
Yes, yes.
और
Yes.
नॉर्थ वाले तो स्पीड समझ ही नहीं पाएंगे.
fine.
I'm
So I am very
Yes.
impatient and excited to explain things to them. So it is coming
take
fast.
your
Yes.
trick slowly.
So yes, that is the power of mock test. So once you keep giving more and more mock tests, you'll be able to, the mark increase in your marks will be proportionate to the number of mock tests that you give. So that is the second thing. I mean, the third thing. And also mock tests, they not only help you in clearing, getting more skills in solving questions, but they also help you in getting more content, because 60 mock tests means 6,000 questions. 6,000 questions, every question you have 4 options. So at least you will be gaining 18,000 new ideas and concepts. Because for example, you have a particular content and they ask you which treaty talks about that particular content, and in the option they would have given you 4 contents, I mean 4 treaties. So it is not only that you will be learning about that one treaty which is the right answer, but as you do some Google search, you will also be learning about the other 3 treaties. And so what I'm trying to say is that you will gain more knowledge. So if it is 60 mock tests, 6,000 questions and close to 18,000 to 20,000 new concepts, new topics you'll be learning. Just by writing the mock test, you will be completing 50 to 60% of your preparation. And the thing is that the mock tests, these are being conducted by coaching institutes. So they put in some efforts to take these topics from different sources. They try to, I believe they try to create questions that are highly relevant from the examination perspective. Because they don't they don't test the questions which are outdated. Most likely they test in questions that are relevant and which are part of the current events and current happenings. So you can always trust that though the questions which are asked in the mock test will not be repeated in UPSC examinations, but then the linked topics will always be tested, may always be tested. So based on your mock test writing and your own analysis of the question papers, you can always read about those topics which are most likely to be asked in the main examination.
Uh,
Okay.
Shiva, we have prepared a list of questions.
Yes, sir.
So I think you would be the best person to answer these questions, and these are visible to the audience also.
Yes.
Understanding self-preparation mindset.
Mm.
Because how did you prepare, coaching or self?
Mine was self-preparation.
So Shiva didn't take any coaching for general studies.
Okay.
And how did you prepare? Means you answer these questions.
Yes.
These are related with self-preparation. So this session will focus on self-preparation. No?
Okay. So the first question, why did you choose to prepare on your own instead of joining a full-time coaching? Okay. So firstly, I went through all the topics in the UPSC examination. Most of them, they are generic topic. So unlike in the case of CA or engineering or any other graduation, the subjects which we learn in the general studies paper in UPSC, they are not of the level of rocket science. So there is nothing deep that is involved, but the basic things which are voluminous in nature. So just with 1 or 2 readings, you'll be very clearly able to understand the topics. So I thought that going to coaching institutes or coaching classes would only lead to more time consumption. So I started preparing on my own rather than relying on coaching institutes. So what were the biggest challenges you faced in self-preparation, and how did you overcome them? Okay. Though I had this confidence that I'll be able to manage on my own, during the initial days, I definitely found it difficult because I didn't have the experience, and also that was the COVID time. So I started the preparation in 2019 November. So 2-3 months down the line, the lockdown happened, and I had no mentors as well. So I always had this uncertainty of whether I'm going on the right track, of if whether my preparations are on par with other competitors. So this thought process always used to be there. And secondly, that when you prepare alone for longer periods of time, your mental health also goes for a toss. So these two are the important drawbacks which I face. But apart from that, academically or intellectually, there was no problems which I faced with respect to self-preparation. Because I feel that once you prepare on your own a particular topic, you'll be able to build a stronger foundation in the topic rather than when you go to a coaching class wherein you'll be fed with topics. Here you'll have to recreate the entire scenario. You have to visualize a particular topic in order to understand it. So that gives you a stronger foundation wherein you can have that memory for longer periods of time. How did you keep yourself accountable in the absence of external pressure? So first is that internal motivation, which everyone will be having. So it is evident from the very fact that you are attending this Zoom session on a Saturday evening. So that internal motivation is there with all of you. And second is that we need to have a daily schedule. If you're starting your preparation on X days, and if your prelims exams or mains exams is away by another 3 months or 4 months, you need to prepare a schedule for X plus 90 days. For the next day, what would you be doing? You need to account every minute and every hour. So what happens is that when we prepare long and voluminous portions and interesting topics, we generally lose track of time. So which is very short during our preparation days. Because you have to cover so many topics, be it general studies, be it optional. So we have to balance everything. So that we may be missing it due to paucity of time. So it is important that we account each and every minute. So what I tried to do was I made a time-based schedule. So what will I be doing from 6 to 8 in the morning, from 8 to 9 in the morning, 9 to 1. So this way I broke it down and I ensured that I kept following this diligently. So the accountability mechanism rises from our guilt factor. So once you don't follow your schedule, once you don't complete the thing that you're scheduled for in the coming days or coming hours, you automatically start feeling guilty. So that will ensure that you stay accountable to yourself. And secondly, also you can have a mock test schedule. So as you have a mock test schedule, I'm sure that your study schedule will also be integrated to it. And when you in a particular mock test, if you are to receive lesser marks, that in itself will motivate or inspire you to perform better in the next test. So these two things will keep you occupied and accountable, even though you don't have any external motivation or external push.
Read the question completely.
Yes. So strategy for structuring self-study. How did you design your study timetable, daily, weekly, and monthly targets? Okay. So I had daily targets, but no weekly targets, and next was the monthly targets. Daily targets, as I was mentioning earlier, I had a Harley target, which I used to keep covering every day. Then the next part was the monthly target. As I was talking earlier, I started my preparation in November 2019, and the examination originally was scheduled in the month of May or June 2020. So I knew that I had 6 to 7 months of time, and I did reverse working. So I decided that I should be completing a particular book thrice before I go to the examination. So I broke my schedule that way. So if I had 6 months time, the first set of 3 months would be allotted for covering the books in the first cycle. And in the second cycle, I would take the 2 months, and then the last cycle, the revision used to happen for one month, less than 1 month, 20 days, and the last 10 days used to be intense revision before the examination. So this way I broke my time, and for the first 3 months I broke it down into different topics. For example, history on week 1, geography on week 2. I used to combine integrated topics. For example, I found similarities between the later modern history in the sense modern history after 1980s, and polity. So I used to integrate them. So there are topics which are logically connected. So I tried integrating them so that I get whole picture. So this way I kept covering them. And all these scheduling, I used to do it based on the mock test schedule, because I used to study, I wrote the mock test, analyze them, take notes take notes from the mock test after their analysis. So this way I used to prepare my study schedule. Which subjects or areas required external guidance, and how did you manage that while studying alone? There used to be certain topics, for example, especially in geography, there were vague topics like so even the basic concepts I couldn't understand during the first reading in physical geography. For example, I couldn't understand the difference between weathering mantle and pedogenesis. So what is the difference between these things? Because as you were reading for the first time, getting the whole picture, connecting them is difficult. So for these things, I tried accessing the open material, because once you go to YouTube, you have all the materials available in them, people explaining. So I didn't follow any particular channel or coaching institutes videos. So it was just random. Whichever channel was explaining that particular concept well, I tried searching them and zeroing on them. So since you most of you are giving your 26 attempt, you all have sufficient time. So 1 year's time. So you can have the trial and error and research before you have the right book list or the right YouTube channel.
Did
Did
you
you follow a fixed book list or frequently switch sources? What was your approach? So yes, so I think I addressed it before. Fix on your book list and don't go for a different book list. Even if you are to give a second attempt, follow the same book list, because the thing is that book lists were not the problem. The problem lies elsewhere. If in case like you are unable to succeed in the examinations, as you keep reading multiple times, it gets embedded into your memory. So the replication and the examination becomes easier when you do the same thing again and again. How did you ensure syllabus completion and revision cycles on your own? So yes, the same thing I addressed it earlier. So you can have a daily schedule, keep following it up. But one thing in this is that don't lose heart if you are unable to completely adhere to the schedule. There are days, as we are human beings, wherein we get tired. So we may be having family commitments, sicknesses may be there. So there are days wherein we may have to forego our schedule. So you can have this thumb rule. If you are able to adhere to 80% of what you are scheduling, 80% of what you want to do, so it is a big success. So that will ensure that you get success in your final examination. So what tools or methods did you use to evaluate your progress regularly? So initially I relied completely on mock tests. So as I was mentioning, it was the COVID year. There was nobody to compare myself with. But in going forward in the third, fourth attempts, so I had a very good peer group. So I also exhort you all to have a good peer group. So the friend circle is very important. Have a set of 3, 4 committed and dedicated friends. So there is no substitute to that. One thing is that they help you with more knowledge and more ideas. So as you keep discussing, your knowledge also develops. Second thing is that you will be able to understand if you are on the right track, because it is possible that over a course of time we may keep going in the wrong track in the faster manner. So if they are able to correct it once in a while, we'll be having that reality check always. How did you approach answer writing practice and self-review without a mentor? So this is a area where I had problems initially. So, but as I was mentioning, I had a good friend circle as I went by. So the mentors that you are mentioning, I didn't have any external mentors. But as you are entering into first or second year of preparation, there may be many aspirants who are in their fourth or fifth year of preparation. So I was lucky enough to get one such aspirant, so who was in their fourth year of preparation. So I was roommates with them. So we gelled well, and I was able to get much learning from them. Even if one were to go to the coaching institutes, the evaluation or the guidance comes from a past aspirant. It doesn't come from a university professor or from a PhD holder in the subject, because everything is generic as far as subject is concerned. But what you need is that right guidance, how we are supposed to present a particular answer, what are all the value additions that you are supposed to make. So that can be given only by a seasoned aspirant. So that mentor part, I had a senior who was guiding me. So I will also suggest that if you are able to get one such senior from your college or from where you are staying, that would be very helpful. How frequently did you revise your notes, and how did you decide what to retain or update? Okay, so revision, I kept doing it regularly. So that is one thing which I didn't miss. If you ask me to mention 3 things that help me succeed, one important thing would be revision. I used to revise the same thing again and again. Only the values, facts and figures, I used to update it once in a while, because it keeps changing every year. For example, if the budgetary outlay, I cannot follow the figure that I followed it in the 2021 attempt for the 2024 attempt. I will have to revise it. So that way, only the dynamic aspects I revised it, but the static aspect, if at all I had any, I kept revising the same thing again and again. Role of digital resources in preparation. Which online platforms, websites, or YouTube channels were most helpful in your preparations? Okay. So for the prelim stage, initially I subscribed to mock tests in few coaching institutes. But in the third, fourth year, I started downloading question papers from the open source. There are some websites like Free UPSC Materials. wherein the question papers are uploaded once they are conducted in different places. So you can always download them and write the answers on your own. You can have OMR answer sheets. So 50 to 100 of them you can have them. You can keep practicing your tests in that. And YouTube channels, no particular YouTube channels. I followed whichever gave the good content. For geography, I read the PMFIS material. I mean the PMFIS website, which is totally free of cost.
12th.
Did you ever feel overwhelmed by too many online resources? How did you maintain clarity? I did not follow many online resources. I consolidated my list, only followed few of them. Rather than having it as a push model from the online websites, I had it as a pull model. Only if I needed some specific content, I accessed the websites. Else, I didn't let the websites give me content. So I took it from them only if I needed. Can you suggest some Telegram or YouTube or website channels that are actually useful for serious self-learners?
Already told by you.
Yes, that's already good.
Discipline.
Discipline, focus, and mind management. Okay, how did you maintain discipline and avoid procrastination during a long preparation cycle? Yes, for this we have to touch upon the philosophical questions as to why we started the preparations and think about all those who are around us who trust us that we are diligently preparing. So that thought process we have to keep repeating in our minds once in a while, again and again, because we all start for a reason. So none of us embark on this journey just like that, because this needs lots of sacrifice, years of preparation. So there must have been some spark point. So that spark you need to refurbish it in your minds again and again. So that will keep you moving. And second thing is that, as I told earlier, have that schedule, follow them regularly. So that in itself will keep help you trust the process and move forward continuously. How did you handle loneliness, self-doubt, or lack of peer support in self-preparation mode? It is not possible to handle loneliness. That's the reason I'm telling that you need to have a strong peer group that is committed and dedicated towards the cause of preparation. Because it is also possible that you may have the wrong peer group, and once you have that, you may start going the wrong ways. As there was earlier question which was talking about this exam being a marathon, so there are chances that you may get distracted. So always develop a peer group. So in this examination, try not to be alone, because that will affect your mental health and will also reduce your preparation vigor. What kept you mentally strong during low phases without a coach or mentor to support you? Ultimately, parents and friends. So some of us have the support of parents, some of us have the support of friends. Take the help wherever it comes from. Don't deny them. Don't try to isolate, or don't try to be a recluse. Be open and free. Exam is just part of our life. So give it sufficient time, and the rest of the time spend on yourself. Try grooming yourself. Advice to self-preparers. What would be your step-by-step roadmap for someone starting self-preparation from scratch today? Okay. So firstly, UPSC is conducting the civil services examination, and they have put forward certain materials. So be it the coaching institutes, be it self-preparers, or be it anybody. So only these are the materials that are available in open domain. So nobody else knows what is going to be asked in the UPSC examination. Nobody knows how the paper is being evaluated. Only what is being put forward in the official space by UPSC is there to guide us. So one is the notification. So the notification, they have clearly given the syllabus, and they have clearly explained what kind of person they are looking for, be it in the personality test or mains or the prelims level. And the secondly, you have the previous year question papers that has been uploaded in the UPSC website. So that gives you an idea as to where from and what kind of questions are being asked. So once you go through 2-3 years of question paper, you'll get a fair understanding of what to prepare and where to prepare from. Thirdly, you have these days now the toppers answer copies are being uploaded online. So they give us a brief understanding about what is needed in the answer copies. Though UPSC doesn't release the real answer copies, this can act as a distant alternative for the toppers answer copies, because they make certain value additions. They make certain changes in their answer style than what we are doing. So that gives them the edge. So these things you can follow it. So based on these, you can frame your own roadmap. What habits or systems should every self-preparing aspirant build early in journey? First is that you need to be organized and methodical in whatever you are doing. So with scheduling, that attitude comes about because time is in short supply. You have to use it in an organized manner. Second is that be disciplined and keep persevering. It is not about studying for a day, studying for a day or two, but it is about running for a year as a whole. So you'll be having many setbacks in that point in time. So you should not worry about those things, but you have to keep moving step by step every day. That is the second thing. And the third is that try to have positive attitude and positive mindset. So trust the process. If you have to put in efforts, if not for first attempt or second attempt, some attempt you will be getting that success. Some are fortunate that they may get success in the first attempt, but not always it happens. If you are to take the statistics that is being released, I read it somewhere that the average age which a person takes to clear the exam is 27, 28. So a person is eligible to write the exam if they are 21. Assuming they start only when they are 22, it takes them on an average 4 to 5 attempts. So never lose heart. If not this attempt, some attempt you will be clearing, provided you put in the right effort. So that never say never die attitude should always be there in you. Do you believe self-preparation gives any unique advantage over coaching-based preparation? Yes, this I addressed it earlier. So as I was telling, you get that analytical understanding, end-to-end understanding. Because here, when you're self-preparation, you start with zero knowledge without knowing what to read from where. But as you do self-preparation, you will be able to connect the dots. And the second thing is the important skill set that you get is that you become a mentor on your own. You will be able to guide students as you start doing this. Your one line of advice to aspirants who are studying alone and doubting themselves. Academically, I'll tell you, keep practicing more and more because we all know in order to gain mastery over something, it is only repetition that we need to be doing. So all of us who go through the cycle are good enough to clear this exam. But only thing that differentiates a person who succeeds from a person who doesn't succeed is the practice, repetitive thing. So if you are to get more marks in the exams, you have to do well in the exams. For you to do well in the exams, you need to simulate yourself in the exam environment multiple times, maybe even hundreds of times before you sit in the real exam day. It should come as something that is automatic. So just like how we drive cars, we don't think about where the brake or clutch or the steering wheel is. It just comes about automatically. The same thing in UPSC examination, time is in short supply. So 3 hours, for example, in the mains examination, 3 hours you have to write 50 pages. So it cannot happen without practice. You need to have ample practice. You don't have time to think in exam. So it should all come automatically, which can happen only with repetition, be it with respect to studying or be it with respect to writing or practicing question papers.
Now let us take students' queries. I will be speaking. Do you make notes of daily current affairs?
Yes, sir. I addressed it earlier. So I didn't make notes of them, but I used multiple revisions in order to stay myself updated on the topics.
You made GS notes also? Do you make notes for GS?
At the prelims level, I didn't make any notes, but as far as mains were concerned, somewhere going forward, I understood that value addition was very important. For example, quoting certain facts, figures in certain areas helped me in substantiating and validating my point. Because one common problem which I was seeing in the papers of my fellow aspirants, my friends, was that all their points were generic. They were talking that infrastructure is poor, they were talking that this facility is not available, but it is difficult to say if that is the truth. So if we are able to substantiate it with some solid facts that happens to be in a credible source, for example the governmental sources, it gives a better face value to your answer. So for that value addition alone, I used to take facts and value adding points. For example, GS3 I used economic survey. So this is just an example. You can search for other sources for other GS.
60 mock tests are only FLT or sectional tests?
Both put together.
Yes.
So somewhere around 30 to 35 mock tests could be sectional and the rest could be full length tests.
Yes, important query. How did you manage optional with GS?
to start with, I finished my optional subject fully. It took me close to 2.5-3 months to finish it fully and thoroughly. And once I finished my optional subject, I started fully preparing for my general studies paper. And I started optional once again only after I finished my prelims examination. But somewhere in my preparation, I think this was flaw. You could have integrated the preparation of optional along with GS, because once you leave a subject without studying it for 6 to 7 months, you become rusty in that, and once again to start preparing it after the prelims level becomes difficult for you. So I would suggest that if you were to have your prelims exam in May or in June, you may integrate your optional and GS papers as far as until February. So you can simultaneously prepare it, maybe put 70% for your GS subjects, 30% for your optional. But when you come to the post prelims period, I would suggest that you put 50% time. Because in GS papers, if you are putting decent levels of preparation, you will be getting X marks, and all the toppers will also be doing the same. But in optional, you will be able to show that it's the 10-15 marks, which can help you improve your ranks from 150 to 50, 250 to 150. So this way.
Sir, books are very fundamental in prelims oriented. Then how to make them mains oriented?
Foundational. Yes, that's what I was telling. So what happens with respect to the static topic is that when you keep revising it 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, you will be able to state the starting topics without seeing the books. So if you are to ask aspirant who has finished 2-3 attempts, so they would have gone a particular Lakshmikant book, say for example, 3-4 times or even 5 to 6 times. So that person, if you have to ask him the role of a speaker, they would give you the answer verbatim, all the 10 points. So as far as the static component is concerned, you don't have to make notes, is my belief. But when it comes to the dynamic parts, the value adding points, you can keep making notes of it. That is simple to make. It doesn't take much time. That comes in handy immediately before the exams, because you can revise it easily as well, and also that helps in giving you that additional marks in the mains examination.
Current affairs are enough for science and tech without doing static portion.
Yes, once you see the paper, you will be able to understand, because science and tech, most of the portions are current in nature. They are not static in nature. If it's the CAPF examination or other exams, the static portions are asked. But in the civil services examination, the science and tech portions, you're being asked only from the current portions. But to have a basic understanding of science topics, you may go through the NCERT textbooks. But once you're comfortable with that, you can keep reading the newspapers and other publications that keep coming about. You have publications that come from the Ministry of Science and Technology, which is uploaded in the PIB's website every day, so that you can go through it. They keep yourself updated on all the recent scientific happenings in the country. Also, the DOST website, the Department of Science and Technology website, they put forward all the new scientific findings. So there you can stay, put yourself updated.
Yes, personal question. How did you manage to keep up the motivation for 5 attempts? So before this 23rd rank, did you select?
No, this was the first.
So in the 5th attempt, you got directly 23rd rank.
Yes.
It is not necessary कि पहले top 800 में आए, फिर 600, फिर 500, फिर 100, फिर so directly 23rd in the 5th attempt.
So at least in my case, I had the successes at different levels. I used to clear prelims in some attempt. I cleared mains in some attempt. There are aspirants who never cleared prelims even in the first 4 or 5 attempts. In their last attempt, they used to get rank in the top 10. So you need not worry about the progression. At times it happens that though we put in our hard work, the permutation combination doesn't work out and we don't clear. But as I was telling earlier, you can stay assured that if you're putting in the right hard work and smart work, if not this attempt, some attempt, you will definitely face that success. That belief I always had it. And secondly, always have that internal motivation. So keep reminding yourself about the sense of purpose as to why you started this exam, because nobody would have forced you. You would have started this out of your own will and accord. You would have already had a UG degree, you could have got employment, but you are coming here for some purpose. That purpose should always stay in your heart. If that stays, you will stay motivated.
I'm having one piece of advice.
Yes.
If for 2 attempts, someone is not able to qualify, start devoting 20 to 30% time on plan B, but maximum 30%. यू कैन डू मास्टर्स और यू कैन डू प्रोफेशनल कोर्स लाइक सीए वगैरह वगैरह, ठीक है। जो ग्रेजुएट्स हैं उनको अपना किसी पोस्ट ग्रेजुएशन कोर्स में तो एनरोलमेंट करा लेना चाहिए, बट फॉर फर्स्ट 2 अटेम्प्ट्स मेक योर 100%, होप यू विल क्वालिफाई। 2 अटेम्प्ट्स में 3 अटेम्प्ट के बराबर मेहनत कीजिए, ठीक है, क्योंकि यूपीएससी का डाटा कहता है फर्स्ट अटेम्प्ट में 7% सक्सेस रेट है, सेकंड अटेम्प्ट 14%, थर्ड अटेम्प्ट 22.5%, फोर्थ अटेम्प्ट 22.5%. These are success rate. So make the effort which is done by candidates in 3 attempts in 1 year or 1.5 year. अगर उसमें नहीं होता तो it doesn't mean it is your weakness. It is lack of compatibility between your preparation and UPSC's current demand. ठीक है, सिचुएशनल है यहाँ पर आपकी काबिलियत का सवाल इतना ज्यादा नहीं है, not your capability. So after you have written second mains, God forbid you have to write third mains. After you have written your second mains, start working upon your plan B. You might be doing MBA, so you might be doing CA. So CA का एक एक ग्रुप देकर आप आगे बढ़ते रहिए, तो उससे क्या है, रियली मोटिवेशन गोज डाउन व्हेन यू फील दैट what will happen if after 5 attempts I'm not able to qualify. So from third attempt, start giving yourself an assurance that yes, I'm prepared for plan B also. Always get prepared for plan B. It may be small plan or it may be big plan. Small plan हो सकता है कि yes, I will prepare for this particular post graduation course MCOM only. इट में भी बिग प्लान कि मुझे अपने फादर के साथ बिजनेस करना और अच्छे वाला करना है, तो फादर से बिजनेस के फंडामेंटल्स पूछते रहिए, राइट। बट प्लान बी जैसे ही आपके सामने आएगा, यू विल गेट फ्री फ्रॉम वरीज, एंड फ्रीडम फ्रॉम वरीज मेक्स यू मोटिवेटेड, कीप्स यू मोटिवेटेड। फिर आपको 5 के 6 अटेम्प्ट में भी दिक्कत नहीं आती। एंड आई सजेस्ट एक ही अटेम्प्ट में जो ना 3 अटेम्प्ट के बराबर मेहनत कीजिए, यू विल गेट सक्सेस 6, दैट इज 22 plus 14 plus 7, you will get a 40-45% chances to get success. मेहनत बढ़ा दीजिए, ठीक है।
So yes, I also want to add to what sir was telling. This my 5th attempt. I stayed motivated. I didn't have the fear of what I will be doing if I don't get through.
Yeah.
Only reason was my CA background. I was always under the belief that if not for civil services, somehow I can go out and I can fend for my
You were
livelihood
doing
with
practice
CA.
also.
Yes, I was doing practice, brief practice for some time. So that gave me the courage to keep continuing. As far as the livelihood perspective was concerned. So sir was telling you can kick in the plan B after coming in, but if possible, even before you start the preparations, I would suggest that you finish a professional course, maybe if not CA, CS or CMA or an LLB. So this will help you stay confident during your preparation days.
डेफिनेटली वी डोंट गेट बोर्ड और डिमोटिवेटेड फ्रॉम स्टडिंग। मैं कॉमर्स पिछले 22 साल से पढ़ा रहा हूं और उससे पहले मैंने 10 साल कॉमर्स पढ़ा। मैं तो डिमोटिवेटेड नहीं हूं। क्यों? आई एम गेटिंग सिक्योर, फाइनेंशियली सिक्योर आल्सो, कैरियर वाइज सिक्योर आल्सो, एक्सपीरियंस वाइज सिक्योर आल्सो। तो कोई कैंडिडेट अगर डिमोटिवेट होता है तो वो फ्यूचर की वर्री के कारण होता है। फिक्स योर वर्री starting with the third attempt, but in first and second attempt put your 100%, you will qualify because you can't spare your time. Third attempt में क्या होता है, you need some free time to do something other than academics, या academic में कुछ ऐसा करो जिसमें सर्टेनिटी हो, ठीक है। इस पर मैंने जो एक स्पेशल सेशन भी रिकॉर्ड कर रखा है, प्लान बी, अपने यूट्यूब चैनल पे है, राइट, वो देख लेंगे आप। सो नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन सर, क्लास नोट्स ऑफ कोचिंग आर सफिशिएंट फॉर जीएस विजन फाउंडेशन, विजन फाउंडेशन और रिवीजन फाउंडेशन?
I think this was
विजन ऑफ फाउंडेशन, कोई विजन का स्टूडेंट होगा। कोमल, यू आर विजन स्टूडेंट?
okay. I'm sorry, I'm unable to answer it because I was not part of any coaching classes. So I'm not very clear on that, but I'm sure like if they
Yes.
are giving you class notes, that should be sufficient. Maybe here or there, few value additions, you can do it from the standard books.
Yes, and today's session was aimed at discussing how to self prepare. And I must share, and you must be knowing the experience of Garima Lohia also. She self prepared GS. GS इतना वास्ट है कि उसको कोचिंग के सारे प्रिपेयर करने में डिफिकल्टीज हैं। इवन कॉमर्स में हम कहते हैं अगर आपका पेपर 1 अच्छा है तो सिर्फ पेपर 2 की कोचिंग कीजिए, पेपर 2 अच्छा तो सिर्फ पेपर 1 की कोचिंग कीजिए, और दोनों अच्छे हैं तो टेस्ट सीरीज ले लो भाई। हाँ, ये फोर्स नहीं करते यार, कुछ तो ले लो। कुछ भी नहीं लेना चाहो, टेलिंग इससे जो है ना, अमेजन से रैंकर्स के नोट्स मिलते हैं 1200 रुपए में। हमने आज तक अमेजन के खिलाफ शिकायत नहीं किया, के नोट्स भेज रहा है, लेट देम सेल, 500 में 1000 में मिल रहा है, देख लो, राइट। एंड डेली रूटीन ड्यू टू लॉन्ग आवर्स, यस, ललित सिंह का है सर, आई मेक डेली रूटीन बट ड्यू टू लॉन्ग आवर्स आई लैक स्टेमिना एंड एनर्जी। आई थिंक यू आर वर्किंग आल्सो ना ललित, you are working ना? Lalit has
Lalit
left.
Singh.
Lalit Singh has left. I think
He's
occasion
there
for-
in the call, but maybe
He's
he's
here?
not listening. Yes, he's there.
No, sir.
Okay, okay, Lalit, you are working.
No, he's not working.
No, sir.
Okay.
That happens with all the candidates. It's something that is absolutely normal because boredom and monotony comes in. So to overcome it, maybe you can have a day off in a week or a day off once in a fortnight. So you can go out with friends, hang out with friends. Also have physical activity every day. So physical activity either in the morning or the evening. Many say that it reduces your energy, it makes you tired. But the thing is that physical activity helps you stay active throughout the day. That is first thing. And second thing, have a balanced and nutritious diet. Don't compromise on that. Reduce your junk, but then increase the diversity of the diet. So you have all the micronutrients in your diet. Because I was reading somewhere, deficiency of nutrients like vitamin B and D, it reduces your preparation abilities. So,
Yes,
so
sure.
you need to have very good concentration towards your diet as well, because that is very important from your preparation perspective.
I say there are 3 pillars of your health: sleep, food, and exercise. Don't compromise with these. These are very essential. Yes. And how do you manage yourself whenever you fail to complete your target? Better again? Yes, better
Sure.
again?
Yes.
क्या दिक्कत है?
Yes.
Better again, I think. How to make peer group online? अरे यहीं पे बना लो ना, you are 15-16 candidates, you make a group and यहीं पे बना लीजिए। कोमल आपका तो इनफॉर्मल ग्रुप है रैंकर्स पे, उसमें पीयर ग्रुप नहीं बना आपका? यू आर हैविंग इनफॉर्मल स्ट्रेटजी अबाउट फिलोसॉफिकल एसे, कुछ बता दीजिए फिलोसॉफिकल एसे।
So it comes with, again, it is integrated with other factors as well. So when I started, I was alone and deciphering it was difficult. But we did a peer group brainstorming. So for example, we took a month for essays. So wherein we brainstormed a particular essay for 30 to 45 minutes every day. So it was a group of 3 to 4 friends. So each of us gave a new perspective and new idea to interpreting the particular topic. So what happens is that your thinking becomes more diverse and more comprehensive. So maybe that you can try it out. And the
I
second,
also want to add here.
yes, sir. Yes.
Why to attempt philosophical essay? For a philosophical essay, take philosophy optional. You can address or you can choose psychological essay now. You have to study perception, you have to study personality, you have to study motivation, you have to study leadership, you have to study transactional analysis, you have to study change management है। अरे वहां से एक ऐसे जरूर आता है। one essay comes from psychology, and if you have studied your organizational behavior well, you can get very good marks in essay। साइकोलॉजी को अच्छी तरह से तैयार कीजिए, परसेप्शन के ऊपर ऐसे आता है, परसेप्शन के ऊपर। और नहीं भी आता है तो आप साइकोलॉजी सारी लगा दीजिए, जो आपने ओबी में स्टडी किया है वो लगा दीजिए, और उसके अंदर फिर आप एचआरएम का ट्रेनिंग एंड डेवलपमेंट ऐड कर दीजिए, परफॉर्मेंस अप्रेजल ऐड कर दीजिए। ठीक है, आपको लगता है कि कॉमर्स इज यूजफुल इन ऐसे पेपर 4 एथिक्स में?
Maybe paper 2. Paper 2 is helpful in other.
Okay. So commerce in ethics paper, case studies are asked. Some case studies are from commerce, HR and
Yes, sir. From OT and OB as well, because you read about the psychology perspective in OB and about the humanistic perspectives in OB and OT. So that helps you in ethics paper as well.
right. In HRM also you get
HRM, and importantly, essay paper, it helps you a lot because
Yeah.
you can quote the thinkers. You will have quotes in paper 2 that can
powerful
be quoted
quotations.
directly.
अब तो आपको 50
So-
pages का powerful quotations है, you can quote them.
Yes. I remember quoting Henry Mintzberg,
Okay.
Max Weber in some essays.
Mm-hmm. How to sir, now they suggest to reduce the attempt from 6 to 3. कमल बहुत बढ़िया हो जाएगा, कोमल बहुत बढ़िया हो जाएगा, there should be 3 attempts only. ठीक है। हाउ टू रिवाइज 3 नहीं होने वाले, इतना आसान थोड़ी है। मोदी को राहुल गांधी नहीं है क्या, वो मोदी को जीने देंगे? ठीक है, how to revise monthly magazine.
So just read it, go through it, that's it. So it is self-explanatory only.
I
Just,
think 1 day or 2 day.
1 day, I think 1.5, maximum 2 days would do. Based on your reading speed, in the first attempts, it took me 2 days to read a complete booklet. Going forward, it took me 1 day because I knew what to read, what to leave out.
And I used to purchase monthly magazine on Saturday. Whole Sunday, I remember 98, 99, 2000, 2001. Though I'm not an ideal for your GS preparation. Okay. This still I will say I used to prepare monthly magazine on Saturday only. Sunday whole day I try to read 50%, 60% of the magazine and thereafter left. Accordingly, I got the success. But I wrote essay, I got very high marks in essay, 139 out of 200. Without any coaching, without this, I wrote essay from heart. Yes, sir. When did you attempted mains PYQ? Is that before prelims or only after prelims?
So mine, it was only after prelims. So as I told you, it's my 5th attempt. So all those attempts, I tried reading little bit of PYQ, but that happened only after prelims. So especially in the last attempt, we were a group of 4 friends. So night 8 to 11 p.m. was our lowest point in the day where our energy levels used to drop. So that time we sat together as a group. We saw the PYQs. We tried brainstorming, we tried structuring a particular answer in a particular way so that we were able to give the best answer. So this is how we studied the PYQs.
Sikha has asked, sir, what your book list? You read the question and answer it.
Sir, what's your book list for optional subject and did you join any coaching for it? Okay, coaching I did not join anywhere, but I use the Ranker's postal courses material. So as far as paper 2 is concerned, I relied only on the Ranker's theory material, which I studied again and again, did the revision. So almost all the questions that appear in the mains examination, it is covered by the Ranker's booklet. For paper 1, I used for certain topics, I used Ranker's material, and some topics I used CA intern material. Since I was already acquainted with the CA material during my preparation days, I followed them. For diversity of sums, for example, in topics like amalgamation, I followed the practice manual of CA intern material.
Right. Can you quickly up through mains preparation paper wise? GS paper 1, paper 2, paper 3, paper
Yes.
4.
I'll broadly tell the strategy that I followed. So because first thing is that whatever you did for prelims, as far the static portion is concerned, that is sufficient. You can revise it once more before your examination, and you try to break up the entire GS portion into topics. So for that, you can take, you can rely completely on the UPSC notification. So they would have given you the breakup. For example, in GS1 there are 12 topics, GS2 there are 20, GS3 there are 20, and GS4 there are 8 topics. So this way you can break up the entire GS portions into the different topics, and against each topic you first decide as to where from are you going to cover that particular topic. For example, history you would have covered already in some standard book, you can follow, keep following it. And for geography you would have covered in some book, but in resource distribution and all, it is generally not available in standard books. So for that you may have to try searching for a different source, or you can make your own notes for the same. So this way you can make topics of other GS papers as well. You can make your own notes or decide on the book list. And second thing is that try to have a value addition material. So I took 4 notebooks wherein I broke down every notebook into the UPSC topics. So 12 for GS1, 20 for GS2, 20 for GS3, and 8 for GS4. So whenever I came across something interesting, some value adding material, facts or figures, case studies, examples, I noted it down in the notebook. So for every topic, I had a 2-page value adding material. For example, for agriculture, I used to have 2-page value adding material in which I used to have specialized terms, the facts and figures like how much the rice production has increased, what is the water use efficiency currently in our agricultural sector, then what is the average size of land holdings in our country. So these kinds of data I collected for different topics. So I used to revise it the day before exams as well, so which helps you in doing value addition. So broadly, this was the strategy for means. Whatever you did for prelims, same thing applies for mains as far as static is concerned. Additionally, you can do this thing, and more you also have to practice answer writing. So if possible, also daily answer writing you can do it. If not, 3 hours is overstretch for everyday answer writing. You can do it perhaps for an hour of 85 marks every day.
One important query is there by Vaibhav. Did you study monthly magazine or daily newspaper for current affairs?
Actually, I studied both. Every day I used to follow newspaper for 1.5 hours. It had a holistic effect. It helps you preparing for prelims, mains, and for the interviews. Then I used to follow for another 1.5 hours the daily current affairs from Drishti. Then with the end of the month, for the purpose of revising those current affairs, I took up the monthly current affairs of Vision, wherein I used to revise the entire daily topics.
Can I tell my strategy?
Yes, sir. Please.
I used to ask my friend, he's Manish Jain, very good friend. I used to ask him what are the topics in today's newspaper. So he used to tell, generally he used to tell, sometimes not. So this topic पढ़ रखा है, इजराइल हर बार आता है. This topic अरे ये तो मैंने पढ़ रखा है. So I tried to avoid newspaper and I focused more on magazines, but I didn't get success. Prelims में हुआ मेरा, मेंस में कभी नहीं हुआ. तो मेरा तो ये अप्रोच था, because I listened from one person, he got third rank in 1996 or 97. He used to read magazine only. He was not reading newspaper. He told that newspaper takes so much of time. Devoting 2 hours a day, 60 hours in a month, magazine will take 12 hours maximum. Right? So he used to read one magazine also. So someone is having shortage of time, I may suggest read good magazine. Good monthly compilation किसका अच्छा है वो देख लीजिए आप. ठीक है.
So it keeps changing from time to time. When I started my preparation, I studied the monthly compilation of Insights IAS. Then I moved over to Vision IAS because I found it little better at that point in time. Now it could be even different. So you do your own research with in that regard.
How did you prepare the society and ethics?
Both are practical subjects. So I did not do any specific preparation for them. I did not follow any static book for them. So most of them were my handwritten notes, which I took from newspapers when I came across few incidents. For society, I used the help of ChatGPT and Google Gemini. I went and typed the special terms, concepts, ideas relating to society. It threw up a few ideas, not the topics, but just the indices. For example, emptiness syndrome is a phenomena that is prevalent in the today's society. So emptiness syndrome is a concept which states that as parents get old, they finish all their duties, like they grow up, they finish, they achieve their ambition, they settle their children. Once that happens, the house becomes an emptiness, they become void, they don't have any objective in their life. So this is a phenomenon in our today's society for parents who are 50, 60 years old. So this way I took special terms for society, and for ethics it was all about writing practically. Little bit of static and more of newspaper reading helped me in that
For
regard.
society, so how did you came to know that I have to prepare these things in society part?
The UPSC syllabus sheet. I
Okay,
mean,
use with syllabus and
UPSC.
PYQs you must have seen.
PYQs I've seen, and based on PYQs, you can yourself make subtopics. So
Right.
with that subtopic, you can break it down. You can do little bit of research and make your own notes. Because for society, it is not advisable to read any static material because it consumes your time.
And now it is easy also.
Yes,
You give questions to ChatGPT on the basis of these questions. Please provide me question for the. Please लगाने की जरूरत नहीं है. Provide questions that may be expected. So ChatGPT will provide you dozen of questions considering the trend. So sir, I am reading newspaper for 1 year and not understanding. Komal, definitely Komal. जीएस में क्या कोचिंग वगैरह नहीं ले रहे, या जीएस में कोई मेंटोर होना चाहिए कोमल, उसके बगैर काम नहीं चलेगा ना. She says that I'm reading newspaper but not able to understand. So definitely some guide is needed.
Not understanding. Okay. Maybe yes. As sir was telling, a mentor or a friend can help you in
Yes, friend
understanding
can help
newspaper.
in this.
You have the news content available these days in digital format. You can always copy paste it, try translating it into the regional language. So since you're not understanding, I believe it is the language problem. So if you can translate it, try understanding the integrations between these two texts, you can learn more.
Sometimes there is problem of linking the current affairs with syllabus also. What kind of question may be asked also. Such a problem also rises. And another query is how did you prepare RBI and SEBI exam? Did you prepare?
No, I didn't give
You
those
didn't.
results.
Are you
RBI and
reading
SEBI, I
daily
didn't give it.
newspaper?
Are you reading? Yes, I read newspapers every day. I spent at least 1.5 hours for newspapers.
Last is there.
Sir, which newspaper do you follow actually? Sir, I'm afraid of reading newspapers. Newspapers, anything you can follow, but predominantly aspirants, I believe, follow two newspapers. One is the Indian Express, second one is the Hindu. I followed the Hindu because it was most prevalent in my locality, so I followed that.
Even
paper.
I suggest you follow Hindu only.
Hmm.
You follow the Hindu only. There is no need to see multiple newspaper because we know Indian Express people also. We know them for long. Whatever has come in Hindu, thereafter they do research and publish a big article by different name. So there is no benefit of reading two newspapers because you are not going to do research. If you have collected sufficient content on one topic, there is no need to read any other newspaper. So definitely that would be waste of time. Read one newspaper only, right? Some people may say that Hindu is biased, right? तो वो थोड़ा सा आपको
Again,
discuss अपना
we all have our own knowledge. So, though you read a content, a particular opinion in a particular newspaper, you can always think about the counterfactual. What if this opinion is true? What if this view is not correct? So, that critical thought process you can always inculcate it. Not necessary that you have to go by the opinion of a particular newspaper, but the content, the language, all those things you can gain from reading a newspaper.
One more query there. So Vaibhav Agrawal has asked. So when you revise your current affairs, you were revising newspaper also? Means did you maintain any notes from newspaper?
No, not much. I did not have any notes for newspapers. Just those, as I was telling, I had this value addition material.
Okay.
So only those value additions I used to note it down. So other aspects I
Means
didn't do.
something you found interesting or
Something interesting,
new.
which I felt will help in adding value to my main answers.
Right.
So those things alone I copy pasted from my newspapers. Rest of the things you need not read the newspapers once again because revision of the current affairs helps you do the same. Current affairs compilation is nothing but consolidation of all the current events from newspapers, PIB websites and so on.
Last query. How do you make notes
Notes
digitally or
digitally or
hard
hard
copy as
copies?
required, update continuously?
So that depends upon your acumen. I used fully hard copy notes because I had that acumen only. Digitally, I was not acquainted at that point in time. I did not have an iPad or a tablet to make digital note making. But you can, that will, digitally, if you are used to it, you can use that. Because OneNote and all, you can always search for a particular topic. It gives you the multiple places where you have noted it down. So it helps you in consolidating different current events, so that can help you in writing better main census.
So this is all over.
Yes, sir.
Right. So any other query?
So hope I have answered all the queries satisfactorily. Like if there is anything which I missed out, you can put it forward so that I can address it more effectively.
Right. So best of luck everyone. Prepare well.
Okay.
Right. With regard to commerce, you can put your query to me anytime. Right.
Yes, sir. And in mail ID you can share.
Yes,
it with
yes.
me.
Mail ID. Please type your mail
Yes.
ID. So you can note down the mail ID of Shiva also. B Shiva
Yes.
97
Yahoo.com.
yahoo.com. So 97 is your birth year.
Yes, year of birth.
So B Sivachandran, B Shiva 97. Our Manjit is having knowledge of most of the mail IDs. Most of the mail ID. Right. And thank you, Shiva, for
Thank you, sir.
sparing your time. And earlier we planned to have Zoom session with Shiva, but now see, it was our opportunity to have Shiva in our studio. So thank you, Shiva. Thank you very much. And I hope you will be answering the queries at least once a week.
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay. Okay, everyone. Have a good night.
Thank you.